Welcome to the Word for Life podcast, a daily devotional covering the entire Bible from Genesis to Revelation.
In Judges chapter 14, we read about Samson's marriage to a Philistine woman. You see, the Lord wanted Samson to deliver Israel from the Philistines because the Philistines were ruling over Israel for 40 years. In the previous chapter, in chapter 13, verse 5, the angel of the Lord told Samson's mother, even before he was born, that he will take the lead in delivering Israel from the hands of the Philistines. But you see here in chapter 14, Samson sees a Philistine woman and wants to marry her. This means the Philistines are now going to be Samson's relatives. Samson's parents tried to stop him, but they failed. In verse 3 we read, his father and mother replied, "Isn't there an acceptable woman among your relatives or among all our people? Must you go to the uncircumcised Philistines to get a wife?" But Samson said to his father, "Get her for me, she is the right one for me." Friends, where was the Lord who chose Samson from his mother's womb when he got distracted from his calling? The Bible author says in verse 4, his parents did not know that this was from the Lord, who was seeking an occasion to confront the Philistines, for at that time they were ruling over Israel. Friends, God calls leaders for His purpose, but sometimes they get distracted into unnecessary things. But God still uses the leader and even his foolishness to fulfill His purpose. Here God used Samson's attraction to a Philistine woman to take him to the Philistines to give him an opportunity to fight the Philistines. But sadly, we need to note that Samson did not pursue his calling, but only a Philistine woman. From verse 5 onwards, we are told that Samson was also not interested in following God's law. You see, God had clearly told the Israelites that any defilement caused by being in the presence of a dead body required an 8-day ritual. But Samson kills a lion but does not want to cleanse himself. In verses 9 and 10 we are also told that Samson boldly violated his Nazirite status by eating honey from the corpse of the lion and also defiled his own parents. Finally, Samson's marriage to the Philistine woman ends in a disaster. She forces him to share the secret answer to his puzzle with her. Then she goes ahead and conveys that answer to Samson's companions who could not find the answer. Samson finally repaid his debt by killing 30 Philistines and taking their garments and giving it to his companions. Then in anger, he returns to his hometown. You see, friends, Samson did not fight the Philistines to save Israel, but he fought them because he had personal problems with them. That is why the Bible cautions us to be focused and not get distracted. In Proverbs chapter 4, verse 25 to 27 we read, "Let your eyes look straight ahead, fix your gaze directly before you. Give thought to the paths for your feet and be steadfast in your ways. Do not turn to the right or the left, keep your foot from evil." Friends, the Lord gave a clear vision for life to Samson. Unfortunately, the Lord's vision for him did not become his vision. Samson lived for something else. In John chapter 4 verse 31 to 35, we read about Jesus our Lord speaking to the Samaritan woman. In verse 31 it says, "Meanwhile, his disciples who had brought food for him urged him to eat something." But in verse 32, Jesus told them, "I have food to eat that you know nothing about." Then his disciples said to each other, "Could someone have brought him food?" But in verse 34, Jesus told them, "My food is to do the will of him who sent me and to finish his work." Friends, Jesus our Lord was sent for a purpose and he never got distracted from it. In fact, after telling his disciples that his food was to do the will of him who sent him, in the next verse, in verse 35, he told his disciples, "Don't you have a saying, it's still 4 months until harvest? I tell you, open your eyes and look at the fields, they are ripe for harvest." By this, Jesus told his disciples to be focused on the harvest and not get distracted. Friends, may it be that the Lord will give us grace that we will always be focused in what God has called us to do.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you tomorrow for the next episode of the Word for Life podcast.